So one of the questions someone asked me was whether I write on pen and paper and then transfer that information over to the computer, or if I just go straight to the computer. I'll tell you how I started things off, and I'll tell you where I'm at right now. I started things off on pen and paper. I was born in the late 70s, and for me, pen and paper were the thing. Computers is the thing now, and has been for a while. But I've been used to pen and paper. That's just what I love doing. Just putting the pen or the pencil to a piece of paper, especially like a thick pad of paper. There's a different feeling that comes with it. And so I started off that way. But one of the things that I quickly realized was I was working harder, not smarter. Obviously, I have to transfer that information over to the computer, and that became work. Writing is fun. Writing should be fun. Writing must be fun. It cannot feel like work. Otherwise, you won't get it done. Writing on the pen and paper with a pen and paper was fun, and then transferring it over to the computer became work. Why? Because even with software technologies that dictate, transcribing it over from what you say to the computer. So, for example, I wrote it on a piece of paper, my story, and then I'm reading it through that software to have it transferred over to the computer. It was not doing near a good job dictating those words over. It was making mistakes that I had to now correct. It became too much. And so I forced myself to go straight to the computer. And honestly, it didn't take me long before I got used to the computer in that sense. Now, I'm not saying that I never was able to type or anything like that. I've been able to type fast for as long as I can remember. But for whatever reason, there was a block when it came to writing straight onto a computer for me. Whereas when I wrote on pen and paper, my thoughts would flow freely. But after I realized that I was putting in too much work to transfer that information over to a computer, then I went straight to a computer. It wasn't long after that where my thoughts began to flow freely again straight onto a computer. And I didn't need to go back to paper and a pen, and I never did. I still have a whole bunch of work on paper, but most of those thoughts have been transferred over. Some of those are still sitting there for if and when I find time, I can go back and revive those stories. But, I've also heard that that's where your ideas go to die if you write them down. And you write them down, it's kind of like off your mind, and then it goes to die, apparently. That's a whole different story on whether you should write your ideas down and then put them aside so that it's out of your brain. My mind works in a way where the bandwidth is not large, and so whatever I put in my head has to be critical and important at that time. And so if I have too many things, story ideas, scenes, whatever it is in my head, I have to put it on paper and get it out so that I can think and have my other thoughts flow freely. So it is what it is. I know that's kind of a diversion from what I've been discussing so far. But yeah, I would strongly, highly suggest going straight to a computer. Leave the paper pen thing alone. Work smarter, not harder. And you will see that sure enough, it's gonna come to you if it doesn't right away. If you're one of those who is a very slow typer, different story for you, right? You're a different ball game. You're going to need someone to type for you, or you're going to need some really good transcribing software that can really pick up all of your words, your nuances that you're mentioning, and accurately type it out for you on the computer. Because otherwise, if you have some cheap software, and I know software with AI has been advancing over the years, then essentially you'll be making a lot of corrections as you're writing, and that's going to slow you down. So just some things to think about. There's no right or wrong way. I'm giving you my experience, and you have to just find what really works for you.